All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got done wrapping up the 10th episode of Batman the Animated. Well, I mean, I'm stuck, husk. Batman the Cape Crusader that's on Amazon Prime and available right now. There's already a review. I think it's spoiler filled for this show. This is something that just happened. This was not planned. Me and Ronin Unchained collectively are just giving our clear cut thoughts of what we think of it. But yeah, Ronan, thank you for bringing me along the ride to go and watch this because I think I was very excited about it, but I just didn't have time to cover it. And I am a big fan of, all those shows like Batman animated series, Superman animated series, even down to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond. So
Hmm.
it's literally in my DNA.
Yeah.
But one of the things, and I guess we're gonna talk about it, is that if you go back to the old Batman animated series, every single episode feels like it's its own contained narrative. And it's like, yes, it groups around Batman and he progressively kind of changes, but this show is very centrally focused on every single episode is specific. But the Batman that we get in the beginning of the season is very different than what we end up with for the better. And I feel like he's kind of like a Batman year two to me.
Yeah,
Um,
about yeah.
what's your take on this, man?
It is the best, newest thing addition to the lore of Batman. Um, if I had it my way, right now I'd be knocking down on Matt Reeves, J.J. Abrams, Ed Baker, and Bruce Timm's door. Be like, yo, good work. Like, give me the fucking Blu-ray. I want to add it to my collection. Like you better call Jeff Bezos and be like, yo, we want physical media on this. Um, I'm gonna be. It was so enchanting, and how I tell folks that yes, Clayface, yeah, Joker, yeah, all this, JLL stuff. Look back at the roots of this character. It's
Mhm.
just a dude who has issues that he hasn't overcome yet, and maybe not even one day overcome, but just is choosing to engage them in a certain way, which includes putting up a bat costume and fighting crime. Look back at those old issues. They're detective stories, which is why I love the Batman so much. It's just that echoed back to those comic books. It echoed back to the films that I love growing up as a kid. That again, people be like, "Why are you watching that old movie about the detective called Chinatown?" Or those old Humphrey Bogart black and white movies. Why are you watching that? I'm like, because
Mhm.
Batman started out in a way like that.
Yep.
And the fact that folks may think the first few episodes are slow build and whatnot, you're getting to spend time in this character's world in a time period that we haven't really spent time with this style, and you're getting to hang out with Renee Montoya, with Dr. Harlan Quinzel, with Barbara and James Gordon, and how at one point there's an episode dedicated to them having different ideologies,
Hmm.
surrounded by the guy who's the new wave for them. There's crime wave, and then there's this guy in the other side, and how much they're as one-off stories you can enjoy them like that, and yet if you've been following it from episode one, there's it pays off,
Yeah.
moments pay off,
Yeah.
relationships pay off, um down to Batman addressing Alfred as Pennyworth throughout the whole series, and there's a
Hmm.
payoff at the end to that, and there's a growth to it. And you said it, year two kind of vibes. There are moments I shot that are like literally right of year one, and I adore it. I want to rewatch it again. I want to get physical media as soon as possible for this. And my only regret thus far is that three people weren't able to watch this, and those three were Bill Finger, Jerry Robinson, and Kevin Conroy.
Conroy.
I
Mhm.
wish those three could sit down and watch this show and be like, "This is thanks to you guys and what y'all did for this character."
Yeah, there's something about when we were watching, especially how this begins. Batman in this narrative, it's not just the show. The show technically is kind of rated R or MA for mature. Like, I mean, there's language, there's blood, but Batman's brutality, we always look at it like, oh, he's done something dirty on the side, right? Or he's been brutal to someone on the side. The only incarnations that we've seen Batman be technically brutal live action really is Zack Snyder's interpretation of Batman with Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And the Batman. I mean, some people would say like also Michael Keaton in, the second
Batman Returns, explosions,
like, literally blew somebody up. And I mean, technically, even the first Batman, I mean, he was shooting down people with a helicopter. But but physically being brutal is a whole different thing. And this Batman just did not care. Like, if somebody broke something, if somebody broke every bone in their body, it just really did not care. And if we look at, and that's the reason why I brought this picture up, if we look at like the old original the animated series, even though he would go toe to toe with anybody, he didn't have a brutality to him. There was a code there. Like, he wouldn't cross the line but for so much, no matter how bad the odds were. If you made him mad, you might see certain stuff come out. But it feels like if I took that Batman, I would say he's probably like 2 years ahead of this one. And it's not just the fact that, of course, the villains are fully formed, they are who they are, but there are certain levels to Bruce's psychosis that's still developing into who Batman is. The whole entire time that I really appreciate about this is that he's just tunnel vision. And I think that's one of the things that Robert Pattinson does perfectly in the Batman, is that tunnel vision. Like, this is the focus. This is what my mission is. That's it. Nothing else. No one else matters. And whenever he's Bruce Wayne in this one, he's just he could care less about humanity, really. Like, you can kind of see, like, he's not just a playboy for the sake of it. Like, he just really doesn't even care. And then when he's Batman, he just has this coldness about everything, like even down to the people that are closest to him. But man, dude, like, there are things in this I want to talk about, but I don't know if we should here, because well, at this point now it's out. There are characters. There are people that should not be talked about yet, but they were, and they were put together in some episodes that were amazing. And I'm not just talking about villains, folks. I'm talking about heroes. Yeah, like, were you caught off guard by any of the surprises in this?
So one that, like, thanks to social media, they pointed out, and I didn't believe it until I rewatched it again, or I saw that the follow-up episode was the one I told you about. I'm like, yo, I'm pretty sure Lois Lane is reporting news in Gotham City, and it's the Lois Lane characterization from the Fletcher serials from back in the 40s. I'm like, yo. And I just kept looking. Is there a built-up dude with a fedora and glasses somewhere in there? I'm like, no. Okay, cool. It's just Lois Lane. If I'm not mistaken, Eel O'Brien is the photographer that's trying to get the scoops that Batman like hires to take the photos with Catwoman. You know who that is, right?
Plastic Man, right?
Yeah, dude. Like, there's these moments, there's these like side stuff there. I believe the guy who was with the Gordons and Montoya, but then at the end tries to kill Barbara because of the hit on her. I believe that's the Spectre, if you will. There's these small pockets that I'm like, if you're
Papa Midnight, bruh.
Papa Midnight. Like, there's these small pockets of just like, yeah, if you're a DC fan or Batman fan and you like want to more or less connect the dots, is a little like tip of the hat off to you for being that fan. But I agree, dude. Much like, yeah, see, dude, you see, it's like almost, it's almost identical.
And they never identified her by her name, because you would kind of think like Lois Lane reported for XYZ. She didn't say anything. She just asked the question. I'm just going to open and say it. The freaking Robins, bro. The freaking
all of them.
Robins. Well, all of them except for one.
Except Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown, I believe we didn't get. But like Carrie, Jason, Dick, and it wasn't the Grayson's episode. It wasn't. It was just it happened to be at a circus with almost every ball player in Batman's.
What did you
Um,
catch the other Robin,
um,
the blonde
um,
Stephanie?
oh, that what Stephanie? Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. Then we're only missing Tim Drake. Then
Yeah,
yeah.
Cassandra Cain and Tim Drake. That was it. That was
Yeah,
literally it. So freaking crazy.
yeah, man.
And it's like
Um,
it's a different narrative because I was like, okay, this is not Dick Grayson at the circus. They don't explicitly say it's Dick Grayson. I think it would be annoying is if the second season comes around and it's like, oh, there's somebody named Dick Grayson. Like they better stick to it because if anybody's seen the show that I love personally, which was Gotham, Gotham took the Batman narrative and turned it on its head and yet still made it palatable and true to what Batman is. And I think that they definitely did that in this show. There are certain elements that reminded me so much of Gotham, like the Clayface, right? That whole Clayface arc and how they did it, like it was just terrifying, even if it was like, okay, this is the beginning stages of this.
yeah.
But I must say this: the person that I give all the credit for, because the majority of the time, like I was kind of like, oh, okay, they got this guy, he's gonna be Two Face, okay, eventually. And I was like, is this voice actor really gonna sell it? If I could clap right now, I would give him a clap because he was in his whole bag. And this whole entire season, we've been seeing him, but I did not know he had it in him to do what he did. Like his episodes in this were phenomenal. They were something of legend, to be quite honest with you.
If I'm not mistaken, that is Diedrich Bader who plays Batman and Owlman in the Brave and the Bold TV show. If I'm not mistaken, that's who voices Harvey Dent, Two Face.
That's
Um,
crazy.
it again, folks. You get these shades of like, okay, what they did with the Robins, they kind of did that with Gotham by Gaslight, the anime film that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's the connection that Barbara starts having with Batman. It's like, okay, there's maybe he's leaning towards the Killing Joke stuff that they did with the anime film. Um, I was freaking out. I almost got emotional. Yeah, man. What's his name? Good on him because he was in Midnight Mass. I think that Mike Flanagan show, and the fact that like you have to follow up Kevin after his last hurrah. Hamish Linklater, that's his name. Um, Kudos because you sense how much the humanity was just buried and how moments here and there you're starting to see it. Even when Bruce effed up with bringing Harvey into the light that quick, in a way, yeah, you can see it's manipulative, and yet a part I felt there's a part of it that like Bruce wanted to do good, just didn't know how to handle it. Didn't really learn from his therapy sessions with the Dr. Harlan Quinzel. Um, Dude, the fact that we got Natalia Al Ghul, if you will, as like a Wednesday Addams, but if you reverse it, it's that moment with Ace that he has in Justice League Unlimited, where he's holding her body. Um, I think we made fun of it, or we pointed out like there's a dog barking at Barbara and Harvey. I'm like, is that Ace? Is that the future
Yeah,
dog he's gonna get?
yeah.
Let's talk about Pennyworth for a quick second.
This poor
Alfred,
man.
we don't we don't deserve Alfred Pennyworth, and the fact that this guy was can notice how much Bruce was falling and also carry the guilt because there's that one episode where you see the tail end of it, and it's him cleaning the car, and he hears the gunshots, and he has to
Yep,
run into Crime Alley to see what happens.
yep,
You sense the guilt living him, and then he was ready to die for Bruce to have a second chance at a life.
yeah.
I just kudos to this Alfred Pennyworth who like was able to bring back a part of Bruce's humanity uh, into the fold this early in his career. Um,
I just thought about something, and
go
I
for it.
I don't know why. I was looking at this picture right here, and this is completely off topic, but I just want to bring it up. Imagine a world where let me pull it up. In Rob Pattinson's Batman, if hypothetically speaking, they got Ryan Gosling to be
Harvey.
Harvey Dent, do you know how insane that would actually be? because one, I mean, of course, the man is beautiful, right? He's a talented actor, and I could easily see him pulling off being a district attorney.
Oh yeah,
But him being able to be a villain, oof! I just saw this picture and I was like, and I think that this show did something that I think we've never seen with Harvey Dent. They had him, the scarred side of him was the actual Harvey, and the good looking side of him was Dent, like the Dent that will kill you, the psychopath.
Yeah.
Like, and that scene, I think that scene was one of the best Batman scenes I've ever seen. When he was as Bruce Wayne going to visit Harvey Dent in Arkham Asylum, and I think that this is from a psychological standpoint, it makes sense. You going this is Batman going into a facility with other crazy people to visit his friend that knows him, knows who he was, and like we're having a direct conversation. All of a sudden, the Batman comes out, and he just flips, and it's just so like we took a pause. We were just like, wait,
get it together, Dent, and then she's like, whoa.
Like I was like, I don't think that he intentionally did that. Like I think that it
subconsciously,
right, and it plays to his psychosis that he's created this alter ego. But how much of it is him driving, or how much of it is it taking hold? And
who has the steering wheel hands? Yeah.
And I think Alfred brought it up. Alfred was like, "This reminds you of you, doesn't it? And this is emotionally compromising you." Like, and it started with the moment that I told you, you pushed him. Like, you pushed him a little too hard to try to get information because the ends justify the means. So you're like, if I get this taken care of, then it'll create the justice that you need, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't think about what the human side of it. What happens when you push somebody too far? You become you, and that's exactly what happened. Because he said, what did he say to Harvey when he was at the dinner table? He's like, "No, you don't quit. Harvey Dent doesn't quit." And as he's killing people, he's like, "No, Harvey Dent doesn't quit."
Yeah.
And I was like, he created this.
The DNA of what Matt Reeves pinpointed in his movie, it's here. It's Riddler in that one. It's Harvey in this one, or the criminal element in this one. And again, same dynamic, but yet different journey of how in both occasions Bruce finally learned it can't just be vengeance. It has to be more than that.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, are there any negatives for you in this?
Are you kidding me? I want to rewatch this, folks. Again, if you go back and watch, damn that Clayface. Go back and rewatch our talks of the Batman. I think me and Lucas said it so many times how much we love Chinatown. We love all those black and white detective movies. How much those echoed of it. This is up my alley, folks. The fact that this show with them in the 40s tackled Renee and Harley having a relationship, the fact that we tackled a Boris Karloff, if you will, having Clayface in this role, speaks to the legs that this character and his mythology has, even after all these decades. The fact that we could see Bullock shoot Firebug or Firefly in broad day, no, at night, just shoot him point blank and be framed as a hero, it tells you a whole lot of how, whether we would like it or not, how much that stuff echoes real life of police, media, how we perceive justice, how we perceive to go about things, and how sometimes the people are actually trying to do good and get the shit end of the stick, and how, again, this show just not reignited, like I never lost it, but it just brought back into the fold and in the light to how much I love the Gordons, how much they'll never give up. That like, okay, Bruce has his money and his tools went up, but the Gordons have the will, the guts to go 15 rounds with Gotham's underbelly, and people are gonna say stuff more or less. I'm like, bring it on. This brought a new element to it, much like what Jeffrey Wright did with his take on James Gordon. these two Gordons just brought it back, and again, respecting what's coming for them and yet doing their own thing. Barbara being a lawyer, and the poeticness of her and Dent not seeing eye to eye, pun intended, and now she's the one sticking up to him and be like, "No, I'm not giving up on you. You're a pain in the ass, but I can help you one eye." And how, when you see it, folks, it's kind of sad. It was really, that last episode was really sad of how, like, wow, this isn't gonna go the way things go.
And Dent said it.
And can we just talk about this moment? The minute the gun was on the ground and Batman picked it up. I have not been that tense in a while with Batman, something related, and I was like, "What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?" And you see the gunshots go off, and I'm like, "Please just shoot around them. Please shoot around them." And he did. I was like, "Okay, thank God." I don't know. No gripes. Nothing to. Again, echoing. I'll never forget, dude. Damn, that shot. I'll never forget as a kid watching Batman Beyond and seeing older Bruce Wayne in the Batman Beyond suit finally pull up a gun on somebody, and him shaking afterwards of realizing he pulled a gun on someone and he said never again.
Yep.
The echoes, the connectivity, if you're a fan of animation and of this character, it just on a next level. I fucking love this show, man.
Yeah, I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying to find a reason why you don't like it. I honestly, and again, we haven't, and it may be a situation where we watched this in spurts, right? We didn't binge all the way through it. Maybe if you binge all the way through it, like it loses its momentum in the sense of, not to say that every single episode is like an anthology, but every single episode is kind of singular. But I still enjoy it. Like every single time we ended the episode, I was like, "Oh wow, that was a great episode." And then I was like, where are we going with this narrative? And that's noir. Like if you think about a noir like story, it's not like, "Oh wow, like what the next adventures of da da da." Like no, like crap, this was rough. Because there was an episode where, you know, what Barbara had to deal with the ramifications of Harley, you know, basically dealing with that. And also Matoya dealing with that, and it didn't end on a happy note.
No.
It just ended. And the truth of the matter is, every single episode never really had a happy ending. Even the episode where, and we were thinking about it, we were just like, how is this person on his horse? Like, is this the gray ghost? Like, what kind of Scooby-Doo craziness is going on? No, like this is actual, like sci-fi
supernatural
that's happening. Like Batman had to become a freaking Ghostbuster because Alfred was possessed. And then you get another episodes later where kids are literally getting their life force sucked from them. Yeah. So it's like there's some dark stuff. And heck, they even had Tompkins in this. And we only barely scratched the surface. I think the thing about it is that if I took like somebody like Gordon, is this the Gordon that I know necessarily? No. He hasn't got to that relationship. He hasn't built a relationship true to form to what we know. Is this the Barbara that we know? Not to what we know, because, you know, she hasn't idolized Bruce Wayne or Batman long enough for that to make sense. But they've built an actual foundation.
There's moments.
The building foundations for everything is there. This is more like a Kickstarter to what you know. If we took this season and then we took the first season of the Batman animated series, you could believe everything that's happening. Like, it's, to me, I don't see any negatives with this show. If I'm trying to grasp at straws, it's just that we haven't got to that finish line yet. But that's not to say this night right around the corner. Like, there are moments in this that I am just like, this is so Batman. And I don't see how anybody would have a problem with it, because now you don't have any limitations with this. What people have always wanted is like, oh, don't give me a Batman for gore and violence for the sake of violence. Give me a true to form noir detective narrative and make it be about who he is and his ideals. And that is this show, in my personal opinion. Heck, I don't even know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue, but as dark as things are now, this is terrifying to me.
Mm-hmm.
This may be one of the most terrifying things because what we saw happen to Harvey in only 2 episodes to this,
Yeah.
I don't know what this is going to do to Bruce's psychosis.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like normally you yeah, they're rivals or whatnot. Batman and the Joker. But Bruce isn't even completely balanced yet. And yeah, I'm excited for a second season. I'm just saying I'm gonna get this a 10, bro. I maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe if I want to go lower, a 9.5. But this was great, man. I love it.
I could only think people who had nitpicks with this show is just the pacing and the slow of it. But even then, those folks, I would assume the folks who say that, it would be shocking because I grew up when I had to wait for some of these episodes. I had to wait days or a week for
Yeah,
another
every
episode to
week.
show up.
Every week.
So I'm trained not to binge stuff. Maybe for a younger generation, this might feel a little bit slow, but then again, they put all the episodes out for you. If anything, what I would have thought this show would have been benefited more is if they dropped these in trunkets, 3 episodes, or one
I
episode
agree.
premiere, three
I
episodes,
agree.
3 episodes, and then the finale,
Spread it out.
trilogy of stories. And
yeah.
I don't know, it would keep the word of mouth going. I'm going to do my best to keep spreading the word out each week as much as I can. And oh man, it sucks that we couldn't find time to talk to the folks behind the show at Comic-Con, but I'm gonna do my best to like somehow be like, yo, if any of them are still out and they're still impressed, I would love to talk to them and be like, yo, I don't care about season 2 right now. I'm gonna get it, but like talk to me how it was when you got this script or when you got that script or when you got to this moment and see how much you had to change stuff up and flip it from what you started in the get-go.
Yeah.
I again, this is, and I think I told you before. I love the Joker, but for a whole season, I didn't need the Joker. I was not missing the Joker at all. Just
Same.
folks, this is what I'm saying about the mythology. There's so much you can do with Batman without just his main rogues gallery. Just the gangsters: Rupert Thorne, Carmine Falcone, Ramon, Maroni. There's so much you can do with this character, and it fits him to go up against Rupert Thorne and all these right now.
Yep.
Yeah, man, and kudos to Ed Brubaker to getting to write some of this episodes. I think I saw Mark Bernardin. I think Hallie Groves, the writer of Too Old to Die Young, Westworld, and Last of Us Part 2, and now I think Last of Us Season 2 got to be part of this show. For all the animators, for the score, the music, kudos to y'all. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be, stretching my limitations, but I'm pretty sure the lady that Bruce had as a date named Julie at the Carnival episode, the episode with all the Robins, I'm pretty sure that's an homage to Julie Newmar. I could be wrong. But yeah, man, Christina Ricci as Selena Kyle, Jamie Chung as Dr. Harlan Quinzel. For me, 10 out of 10, dude. As a season as a whole, this is one of the best shows of the year thus far for me. This is, in its own way, it's up there with Shogun and X-Men 97, in my opinion.
Yeah. So wait, what is your rating? Say that again.
I think I'm gonna go 10 out of 10, and this show is up there for best of the shows of the year for me, with Shogun and X-Men 97. It was that effing good. No bored at all, and the pacing was just perfect. Not too long, not too short, just.
Do you think you were able to sit on the episodes a little bit longer because you kind of sat on them? Do you think it'd be different if you like binge straight through it versus take your time to watch it? Like we kind of did?
I would have tried again, but again, right now I'm thinking about the episodes, folks. We got Oswalda Cobblepot, and that was Minnie Driver, I believe, who voiced her.
It was.
Like, we got gold, y'all. What's another one?
It's just dark, dude. Like, there's dead bodies in this joint.
And his design, can I just say, like, again, I think besides Hugh Jackman as Wolverine this year, I just want to get buffed up and like dressed up like this designer of Batman this Halloween. Like I am fucking pumped, dude. Like I adore this. And again, I just want to echo this. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bill Finger, Jerry Robinson, and Karen Conroy. What those three contributed to the lore of Batman, we don't get this, in my opinion. I love what Matt Reeves and JJ and Edward Baker and Bruce Timm did, but I think they would agree with me that thanks to those three individuals, we're here.
Yeah, and we got the freaking classic shot at the very end. And it was what this word is. Fantastic. Bro. But yeah, well, we're going to stop gushing about the show. You kind of feel what we feel about it. We want you to let us know. How do you feel about it? Let us know in the comment section below. Go and make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Go to Ronin's TikTok. If you go to his TikTok, there's already reactions there.
Yep.
I think I'm there. Definitely go and check that out. But yeah, Ronin, what else you got coming?
Is this show, I think, for the next few weeks, folks. I'm going to be dropping Comic-Con stuff along the way. I've been a little under the weather, but I'm going to start dropping up Comic-Con stuff from my point of view, this show as well. And then we'll see. I think the next thing I'll be interested in covering is Alien Romulus. And then you never know. There's some shows that are coming up that you might see me in TeamJVS channel or in other channels as well.
Sir, and we are here. We're going to be giving you guys a lot of different crazy reviews and interviews and discussions from San Diego Comic-Con, as well as some unprecedented things that are coming as well. So just stay tuned. This was a Ronin Unchained and TeamJVS collaboration out of nowhere. It was lit. We enjoyed it. We'll talk to you guys later. I'm not even going to end with the intro unless you want me to end with the intro or outro. What's up to you?
Go for it.
Hey, outro. We're gone. Woo!
Falling out the top of the skyline.